ladies and gentlemen, this is American Dumpster Fire, and I'm Loki.
And I'm here.
And since we last spoke, everybody has heard about the forced hysterectomies at the border, and nothing has been done.
No, I think that we kind of... I heard that they verified that it was happening. That
Right.
they had more reports of women saying that they didn't consent to this.
So yeah, but
and then we essentially did nothing about it.
nobody's
and
been
then
brought to justice.
The news cycle moved on. And they're like, oh, look, another scandal. Because, that's like every other day in this country.
It's really... I loathe to say genius because Trump is definitely not a genius. But that's the thing. They keep your head spinning, right? A scandal happens.
Right.
You're like, oh my God, nothing can be worse than this scandal. Another scandal happens. Oh my God,
and
nothing
then
can be worse than this
moved
scandal.
on, and nothing is done.
And it's just so many scandals that it's like your head can't hold more than one scandal at a time. And
Well, the media's head can't because they just keep moving on to the next thing.
and
Yeah.
we lost you.
What? Did we?
There you are.
No, sorry. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that the news cycle won't hold on to any one thing before it's moving on to the next. And you're right. Like, I wouldn't call Trump a genius at all. But I have learned over the past 4 years that while he comes off as being a complete moron, and he really does, like, I can't even listen to the man without my head hurting. Because, like, truly, if my small children spoke that way, I would be like, no, like you can't even understand what he is saying half the time, and yet the drooling masses that follow him, like unwaveringly, just eat it up anyway, even though nothing he's saying means anything.
I mean,
but in the end, it's not that he's as dumb as he seems. It's that he's more evil than we realized.
Well, I mean, I don't think those things are mutually exclusive, right? I think he can both be extremely evil and extremely stupid.
I think he is extremely stupid. I just think that too often it's brushed off as, wow, he's that dumb. When truly, he knew what he was doing.
Right.
And he's more evil than we thought.
Yeah, I mean, no, he's definitely evil. That's the thing. But I think stupid things are evil. You know what I'm saying? And I say things because, I mean, there are, like, I've come across animals that were obviously stupid, and they bite everything. You know what I'm saying? And Trump's
feel like
the same
that
way.
connects to fear.
Stupidity
and fear.
Oh, yeah, they're
seem to
hand
go
in
hand.
hand. Yeah. I mean, and then, yeah, he's obviously an idiot. I mean, if you listen to any of his speeches, most of it is word salad. Like, it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't.
And
it makes my head hurt. Literally, I can't listen to him for long
but
periods of time.
He's got the same appeal as Sarah Palin, who did the same thing. There was this word salad that you're like, and people are like, oh, she's so poignant. And I'm like, are you on drugs? Like
they are, though.
But I've had this theory, right? And I keep getting proved right. That all
you
these...
do, and I didn't agree with you. I didn't.
All
and I
these Trump
said that,
supporters.
like, I don't think that the Trump supporters are strictly... And
It's
like
not
nothing,
just drugs.
Nothing against people. Nothing
Substance abuse
against
in
drug
general.
users and substance.
Well, some of them are
we
on legal
understand,
drugs.
yes, we understand that is not an indicator of evil. However, I truly felt that Trump supporters were leaning more on the side of, like, racists, white supremacists. It definitely seems that is the driving force behind.
But I think a lot of
the
these
Trump party.
I think a lot of these racists are also substance abusers.
Yeah,
and it can
they seem to be.
It can be illegal drugs, it can be alcohol, it can be legal drugs. Okay, but in the end, every single one of them I've ever met, if I hung around long enough, I found out that they were on drugs or an alcoholic or something. But they've done some kind of damage to their brain with a substance. And it took me a while to figure that out, actually. But when Trump became a craze, when he became a phenomenon, I wanted to understand because...
Yeah, I have that drive too. Like, I want to try to, like, understand what they are thinking.
Why this guy? Like, what is it about this idiot that they latch onto? And you hear them talking, and a lot of them end up sounding like him. Where it's absolute word salad. There's no actually rationale behind it. And then, I'll find something out about, like, I've been in constant pain, and I'm on this,
Yeah.
or I paid my dues.
But how they look at him and think he's gonna make it better is insane. Like, I don't get it.
I think that they see the same things in him that
he's like me. You're right. That's exactly what they see.
because
He's like me.
you don't get like Trump without some kind of chemical damage to your brain.
He's definitely very chemically damaged.
And he doesn't drink. I know that. And I believe it. And although there's some older pictures with a wine glass, it may have been grape juice or whatever like that. I do think he abuses prescriptions.
He does,
And
heavily.
And some people say back in the day, cocaine. I don't know if that's true.
I've seen that a lot.
He may have been chopping up Adderall or something along those lines back then. But he's the kind of guy I do believe that it would be a prescription. That way, if it ever came down to it, you could.
From the rumors, and I'm not saying this is true.
Sure,
but
just
from
going by
the
what I heard,
rumors,
too.
it was in the past cocaine. Back in the day, that was a very popular
Back in
drug
his Epstein
choice.
days.
And then since it has moved to snorting Adderall.
Right.
Now, here's the other thing: is that before
Now, Comey says he doesn't do any illegal drugs, but
no, I believe it's all prescription now. And the funny thing is that while he was talking about making Joe Biden take a drug test and blah blah blah, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to see Trump take a drug test." But what you don't understand,
it's legal, right?
yeah, is that he's hopped up as fuck, and every fucking medical professional who has watched this man speak and seen his dilated eyes and the way that he behaves knows that he's on some kind of drug.
Have you seen Don
But the
Jr.
thing-
with
Oh
almost
yeah,
the
he's
same?
definitely on something. But like the thing is that it doesn't matter that he's on drugs. What matters is the fact that if he has a prescription for a drug, when he takes that drug test, that prescription gets verified and it will be negative.
Right.
So making Trump take a drug test does absolutely nothing because he has doctors who will sign off on literally anything.
Yeah. I mean,
Literally
they lie about his health.
anything.
Why wouldn't they lie
Yes.
about his drug abuse?
We have seen this like loud and clear with this whole new coronavirus outbreak at the White House.
health.
He's
Oh my God.
literally typhoid Trump, spreading this everywhere he goes, and his doctors are like, "Oh, yep, ship shape, all good here."
Right.
He's magically
I'm
cured.
235 pounds in your ass.
Did you see that leaked? His real weight leaked?
No, what is it?
320 something.
Oh my God, it's worse than I thought. Oh my God, I was guessing just shy of 300.
No, he's a little over 300.
Wow.
320 or something.
Yeah.
So
Just don't lie about it,
I
Like, why do you gotta
mean,
lie about everything?
I just think it's hilarious when he's like, I'm in, great shape and blah, blah, blah. Okay, dude. Anyway, regardless, I'm not going to. Did you see how much orange makeup he caked on that the one speech? Like, clearly his skin is pale from being sick, and he was like, let's make it even more orange.
I'm telling you, without the orange, though, like, I bet you he has, like, this paper-thin skin that you can almost... it's, like, translucent.
The first video he put out in the hospital, which was taken, I think, the day of his admission or the day after, he wasn't wearing as much orange makeup, and I was like, why don't you just do this? Just, like, it doesn't look better.
Well, okay, and it's like his shitty hair, too, right? So, the truth is if Trump shaved his head and then let some facial hair grow out, might not look so bad. He might look respectable. You know what I'm saying? Like, because his hair does not look good.
I don't know that he can grow facial hair.
Maybe not. That might be a fair. But his I've seen pictures of his father with facial hair. Now his father's a creepy looking dude, but he had facial hair, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I saw something where he can't grow facial hair, and I don't remember what it, or like maybe he had it laser removed. I don't know.
Maybe it's from eating ass too much.
I guess.
So,
Is that a
speaking
side
of eating
effect?
ass, we got Pence with his fly, his new buddy, right? Now,
Yes.
who do you think is in charge? Is it the fly? Do you think the fly is in charge?
I think that okay. So
Is
did
it
you see
part
the,
of his
did you see the
Beelzebub
pink eye too?
powers?
Like everybody,
What's that?
he had like pink eye or something.
Oh yeah, somebody was saying something about his red eyes, but it's all it happens when you eat ass.
I mean, does it though?
Pink eye? It's because you.
Well, I mean,
it's
are
shit
you sticking your
bacteria.
eyes in there?
Well, I mean, it depends on how deep you're going. I mean, it's Pence. He's probably going neck deep.
Okay, well, neck deep.
So the question is, whose ass? Is it his? Is it Mama's? Is it Trump's?
No,
I mean, Who's he dumpster diving on? So
Let's not ever discuss
But
Trump
yeah.
and his wife in any intimate
Did he-
way.
did he
So
come
the bottom
home?
line is everybody thinks that he has coronavirus because A, he's been right in the middle of the outbreak, and B, he has like the pink eye symptom, I guess, is a thing that's connected with coronavirus, and then also he requested the chair so they could sit during the debate instead of standing and everything. He just kind of doesn't look like he's healthy right now.
He never did though. I mean,
He didn't.
he's
But
human mayonnaise. Like, I don't know, man. Look, I think the fly could just smell bullshit.
yeah.
You know,
Um,
either that or it's,
Like honestly, him and Kushner kind of have this like similarity between them. I think it was John Oliver who once called Jared Kushner like a sentient Coles mannequin.
oh yeah. I call Pence. I call Pence a wax dummy.
So like, and that's the effect you get from both of
Yeah,
them.
they're
It's
like they
pretty much
escaped
like-
Madame Tussauds or something. You know.
But but like yeah, that's what I said about the fly. I thought he was already dead.
Yeah, I mean maybe.
He's sick.
The other option is it's part of being Beelzebub is you get some flies, you know.
it happens. It happens.
So
But yeah, the thing was there for like a good solid couple of minutes, and it was, got more attention than anything that went on during debate, with the exception of the fact that I think that while the debate didn't seem to sway a lot of people, and I don't think that there's a lot of people left to sway from one side to the other. You've pretty much made your choice by now, right?
I don't think the debates change anything.
So the bottom line, all it did was make women dislike Pence more. He talks over people.
but
He
he's so-
interrupts.
He's got
He's-
so much sex appeal, I thought.
Ew.
Like, isn't that what
Like-
they're saying? He's got
Okay,
so
so
much
I did
sex
see
appeal.
somebody say that the conservatives thought that they should play up this like
He is the creepiest son of a
Ew.
bitch.
ew.
Dude, I would look if I didn't know who Pence was, and you're walking down the street, I would cross the street to
I would
avoid
him as well.
because I'm assuming serial killer. Like, because that's what the look he has. He
I
looks
don't
like
know
a
if
fucking
it's
serial killer.
I
Hell
guess
yes,
I
he
could
does.
see that. I could see that.
He-
But
dude,
he's creepy for
I-
sure.
Dude, I could almost imagine his rape dungeon. Like, like I'm just looking at the
Nice.
guy, and it's like I know what he's got in there. I know there's like a whole wall of dildos and stuff like that, mostly with some kind of spike or spine on them. You know, like that's that's what he looks like. You know,
So yeah, I mean he's
I'm doing my like whole
Creepy.
FBI profile on him in my mind as
Yeah.
I'm imagining him, and that's just what I see.
No, like I wouldn't be surprised to find out some like seriously creepster side of him. Like it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Find out? I mean, I don't know, man.
But-
His
so-
whole relationship already spells it.
But like, yeah, I mean, aside from the fact that there was just so many more people saying, you know, we all had to deal with a Mike Pence at some point in our life. Some asshole who just thinks we're below him, who doesn't value the fact that we're speaking. How many times Kamala had to like sit there and say, I'm talking? Like, and like, I was really hoping that at some point she was going to do the Joe Biden, would you just shut up, man? You know, because
But-
like he just, and then like even the moderator, well, I just need to get this out. Well, no, you need to shut up and let her, you know, take
'Cause
her
he's a
turn.
fucking Chad. But I mean, and that's the thing. He probably said more in that debate than he has said in his entire term as vice
So
president.
what they determined was their speaking time was actually about the same, but there was also a couple of questions that he declined to answer.
Uh-huh.
So he was speaking over them at other times, you know, and like taking time that didn't belong to him because he was really playing up that whole, well, my what I have to say is more important than what you have to say thing.
yeah.
You know, and so I don't know. Like I didn't watch the whole thing. I really have no interest in seeing
Typical
anything.
Republican bullshit.
Yeah, and I was like, I watched a little bit of it because I really wanted to see how, because Kamala is a pretty good speaker. I wanted to see her like take him on.
Yeah.
And then when he kept talking over everybody, I was like, I can't watch this. Like, it's seriously.
It does get annoying, especially when you've known people like that. You know.
That's what I'm saying. Is like it gives you this like flashback of when you've had to deal with some
Yeah.
asshole who just talks over you and treats you like whatever you have to say isn't important.
Right.
You know? And so yeah, I can't watch it. I can't watch it when Trump does it. I can't watch it when Pence does it. And I just honestly, like, I hate to say it, but I judge fucking Republicans right off the rip now. Like, I just
I mean,
generally know if you sit here and tell
how-
me you're a Trump supporter, I don't want to talk to you.
Like, I don't know. Look, I'm voting for Biden because he's really the only choice right now.
Right.
Okay. But the truth of the matter is, Democrats have me pissed off at the moment, or whatever. You know? But how do you remain a Republican with what they've become?
Tons of people haven't.
You know, I mean, okay. So the new gripe, right, is that if Biden gets elected, he's going to pack the courts. You do realize that's exactly what Trump has done, is pack the courts.
They have already packed the courts. McConnell literally kept Obama from selecting the judges to fill. It was like over 100 seats, wasn't it?
And they filled those seats.
He blocked him from doing all of that, plus the Supreme Court Justice Merrick Garland.
Right. Who was far more qualified than the dipshit we got.
Right. And so they've literally blocked that many judges, and then the second Trump was in place, filled all those seats.
Right.
So don't fucking come at me with, oh, they're packing the courts and blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. You were never going to vote for Biden in the first place if that is your deciding factor on the fact that you're not going to vote for Biden because he won't answer the question of if he'll pack the courts. The courts have already been packed.
Okay. So
against the ideals of the majority of our country.
This is just like when somebody commits a violent act and we call it terrorist if they're brown, militia if they're white. Okay, it's the same thing. It's only called court packing when a Democrat does it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, because they weren't claiming that. It's otherwise it's filling a position that needs to be filled.
Right.
Okay, that's the truth of it, you know. But because they've politicized everything, because they've made every single thing a fucking issue, you know, this is where we're at, you know. And the people who would vote Republican are gullible enough to fall for this every time.
I mean, there's plenty of decent Republicans who have jumped ship, you know.
But
like these are people who are old school Republicans.
Unless you have a way.
But the rest of this party has been overtaken, and these people are not. They're not even American. These people are literal traitors.
The Republican Party isn't even viable anymore.
Right.
You know,
that's
so
what I'm saying. Like literally all that's left is criminals and sycophants.
Yeah, just give up the title now because you're not going to be a Republican anymore. Hey, I mean, I think that the same thing is true of the Democrats to some point as well.
I think the parties are going to crumble, but we really need to get ranked choice voting in place.
I mean, look, Democrats have shown they're more interested in being conservative. You know?
Yeah.
So we need a Democrat take the Democrats and make them the conservatives, and then you make a progressive party.
What you need to do is basically combine these central Democrats with the Republican Party. That's left, the real Republican
Well, yeah,
Party.
that's if you
the
have
ones that
any
have
integrity,
jumped away from Trump.
Get out of the ridiculous far right-wing Republican Party,
and I think that's where we're at. Is essentially you have these central Democrats who are truly leaning Republican, and then you have these Republicans who are now voting for Biden,
right?
Because they see Trump for who he is, and that's a pretty significant group, I think. And I think that honestly, those people have more middle ground between them than the Democrats do with the progressives.
Right.
And here's the problem: I am not talking about these fringe progressives who are currently pissing me off.
No, it's vote green. Shut up.
Like, the thing is that these people can't see past their privilege to understand that people are literally dying under the Trump administration. Right. And they truly don't give a fuck if he's elected again. And like, because what's going to happen to them? They don't care.
Right.
And those of us who do care about people who are suffering and dying under this administration are doing what we have to do in voting for Biden. Was he our first choice as progressives? No, of course not.
I didn't want Biden. No. I'm voting for Biden. I don't want Biden. Okay.
Right. Agree.
Especially once he said that he will veto Medicare for all. Now I think we can change his mind.
And that's a huge thing. The thing that's nice
and the fact that he won't jump on Green New Deal. You know, like he just won't go. It's just like, why? Oh, and Kamala, we're not gonna do anything about fracking. No, they aren't. They're not gonna do anything about fracking. They're not gonna ban fracking. They should ban fracking. They're not gonna ban fracking. And that's the problem I have with the party is
I agree.
They identify more with Republicans than they identify with progressives.
The thing is that,
and we make up 40% of the party.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that what I'm saying is they have more in common with these Biden Republicans than they do with the progressives. However, like, I like that we're all coming together to vote for Biden because we see the common threat here. Because because the threat with Trump is not just to, Republican versus Democrat. This is a threat to the entire democracy.
Right.
If we don't make the right choice in this election, there's a chance there won't be a next election.
Right. Yeah, that's what I keep trying to tell.
Trump is literally trying to turn this into a monarchy.
Maybe
because even he's wanting to run for 4 more years after this.
Right.
And then he's wanting Ivanka. So I mean,
and if he packs the Supreme Court,
there's nothing
these corrupt
stopping
sons
him.
of bitches are just going to give him what he wants.
Right. And we've already seen that the balance of the checks and balances are broken because the Senate has rolled over for everything he's done.
Yeah, exactly. That's saying we need to restore checks and balances.
So now we see, because this very corrupt system has been in place, that there are a lot of changes that need to be made to this government.
Right.
Biden has said himself that he's basically a transition president. He's going to be a 4-year, president, and we need to make a lot of changes in those years that
we need to strip the power of our government down big time.
We really do. There needs to be more regulations on corporations, not less.
Right.
There needs to be more taxes on corporations, on the wealthy.
The government needs to be limited from taking liberties and freedoms away from people, like Clarence Thomas and Alito talking about how they want to revisit taking away
marriage equality.
Marriage equality. That shouldn't even be possible.
It shouldn't be possible. And here's my thing: that was something that set me off. And honestly, the fact that some people don't care about that was something that made me look at people differently. Like, you can sit here and pretend that you're an ally or, like whatever, that you support these rights and whatnot. But if you vote against those interests, if you vote for the people who are going to work to overturn marriage equality or, gay rights or trans rights or any of that stuff, you're not a fucking ally.
Right.
You're an asshole.
No, absolutely.
And I'm just tired of people acting like they support the gay community or the LGBTQ community, and then voting against their interests.
Realistically, with marriage, I think that the government needs to have nothing to do with it. I mean, honestly, there's not a lot of benefits to it or whatever.
I think that the only reason the government has to have something to do with it is because of divorce courts and mediations and stuff like that.
But, I mean...
Oh, and children.
Right.
Child support.
But, I mean, it should really be largely up to, priests and ministers to, if you don't want to do it...
I wouldn't want religion involved.
No. I'm saying that if I don't want to do it, I don't have to do it, But you can find people out there willing to. I'm an ordained minister. I'm happy to marry any of you,
Right.
But the government shouldn't decide who can and can't.
Oh, yes. No, I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous. Just like the government shouldn't have a say in your medical issues. That should be between you and your doctor. We need to limit what the government's oversight is
what they can
on
lord
what people
over.
can do.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Instead, they should be protecting us from predators like scam artists or corporations.
Their laws should protect the people from the bigger entities. We should not treat corporations like they're people. Furthermore, we need to overturn Citizens United. We need to overturn the corporate interests being able to purchase a politician.
Yeah.
These people are no longer representing us. It has never been more clear. And if our entire government system is based on the fact that we're represented by these people that we're electing into office, and then we can't get them out because of gerrymandering and voter suppression, like, the entire system is broken. It needs to be fixed top to bottom. And it's looking good in the polls for Biden, and I really hope he wins. Even if he wasn't my first choice, but the second he's in, there is a fuck ton of work that needs to be done.
Well, the great thing is I may not agree with Democrats largely right now as a progressive, but one thing that is in our favor and will be huge for us is that Democrats feel that the Electoral College is a slight against them. And many of them are motivated to help get rid of it. And if we can get rid of the Electoral College,
to where it works.
If we can get rid of the no, it can't be changed. It can't be fixed.
Well,
the Electoral
I've read
College
that it's
has
hard
to
to
go.
get rid of. I'd rather
it's
it
a
be
constitutional amendment. It just requires a lot of people to agree it needs to go.
Yeah.
Which is possible in this election cycle for us to get enough people to do it. And if we get rid of it, that'll actually open it up so that third and fourth and fifth party candidates will have a chance at ever being president.
Yeah.
Because currently, under the Electoral College, they do not have a chance.
No, they don't. Yeah, I'm very hopeful that there can be some change. And let me say that, like, while Biden was not my first choice, and actually the more that I see out of these candidates who were running that I didn't see during the primaries, he's actually dropped on what my order of choices would have been. But I do like about Biden is that he is willing to talk to progressive leaders and to work with other people. He's willing to reach across to Republicans and progressives
consult
both.
Professionals.
And yes, he is willing to listen. That was the one thing that really kind of turned me on to not hating that I had to vote for the person that the DNC chose. Because let's be honest, it wasn't about the vote. It was about the person that the DNC funneled all of their interest into.
Yeah.
And it was Biden. And so the thing is that after the primaries and Kamala, coming hard against Biden, and the fact that he could turn around and choose her for VP, knowing that a strong woman came at him, because Trump could never have done that. Having this strong woman come after him and then him turn around and offer a partnership, So that was something that I really liked about Biden, and the fact that he's willing to work with Bernie. Not as much as we'd like, yes. I know. He's still a corporate Democrat. But he is willing to work with Bernie. He's willing to listen and move things in the direction that they probably need to go.
Right.
He can't make everybody happy. Everybody's not ever going to be happy with any one candidate. But
especially in our system.
Just the fact that he's willing to listen to other people is a huge step up from where we are right now.
We just need to get him to listen to corporations less.
Absolutely.
And that's one of my big problems with Biden and Harris. But the thing is that on the scale of things, Trump is far worse.
By miles.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's like
Trump is literally trying to get Barr to arrest his political enemies right now. We are on the verge of fascism.
Right. Yeah.
So, no, there's no comparison between Biden and Trump. There's just not. And I don't care what you have to tell yourself to justify the fact that you're voting green or you're not going to vote or whatever the excuse is. These two things are not the same. It is not a dictatorship versus a dictatorship. It's not.
Right. I agree.
It's craziness.
All right. Are we good for today? Are we done? Are we done bitching, or we got anything else?
No, the only other thing we had was the plot against the Michigan governor.
Yes, right-wingers are terrorists. So it was a dumb idea. It was a dumb plot by people who you expect to have dumb ideas. And of course Trump signaled it.
Because protecting people from coronavirus is a huge offense.
Right. Yeah. More freedoms.
Oh, and then strong women in positions of power.
Right.
We have to punish them.
Sure.
So there's that. The world, dealing with incels once again.
Seriously, yeah. I bet there wasn't a penis over 4 inches among them. So.
I swear to God.
All right. Don't forget to go to our Twitter page and follow. I will follow back at @fire_American. We are also on Reddit, r/American Dumpster Fire. We are on Facebook. Our podcast is anywhere podcasts can be found, including YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, tell your friends and family, whatever. Just help us out.